Hi everyone, this is an assembly video for the breakboard trucks onto a drop-through deck. The box set arrives in the aluminium case. First, just pull out the pedal and the rear truck with the brake mechanism. Grab the nuts and bolts, empty it out onto appropriate bench. You will need an adjustable wrench and the skate tool which comes with the box set. The first step is to remove the brake hanger and take the base plate and put it through the top of the deck. Depending on your drop-through cutout, you might have to modify the cutout to fit the brake. Just see how you go, and then I'll show later what you might have to do. Grab the 4 bolts, put them through the appropriate holes in your deck, grab the nuts and tighten them up firmly. This is called the plunger. It goes into the pedal hole. The little head goes upwards. Put your pivot cup in place. This is the tricky part. Line up the lever cup over the head of the plunger and the pivot head of the hanger into its pivot cup. It's a bit of a force, but squeeze it and it pops into place. Grab the shorter of the 2 red bushes and place it on the deck side. Grab the kingpin and top bush and thread into place. The nut on the other side of the kingpin can be a bit difficult to get in, but if you fiddle with it, you'll get there. For shipping, I put the softer white bushes on the axle. Just remove them with the brake drum. If you are of lighter build or like a much softer carving truck, replace the red roadside bush with the white one to get that kind of carving. Right, grab the small Allen key provided and undo the 3 screws of the locking cap. Grab your breakboard wheel or the wheel that you've pre-prepared. You'll see that the breakboard wheels have the 3 slots already machined into them. Now, I recommend getting some Loctite. This prevents nuts from loosening with vibration. Just drop an inch to the thread holes. Push the brake lining into the back of the wheel and line up the 3 holes with the notches. Drop in the locking cap with its teeth down, spin around until it slips into place. Grab the 3 screws and slip them in, and gradually thread the screws step by step around evenly until they're all firmly in place. Of course, now repeat the process for the second wheel. Just once they're done, double check that all the 3 nuts are fully flush and fully threaded in, and the brake drum is nice and straight. Grab the bearings, either ones we provide or your own bearings, and push them into the brake drum. Just one that side. Grab the racer washer and slip it onto the axle. This is important so that the bearing doesn't rub against the inner nut. This stage is about setting the inner cone distance to the brake lining. To make adjustment, use an adjustable wrench on the nut around the spring. Winding in clockwise will reduce the distance. I suggest wind it in as far as it will go, and you notice that the wheel will be touching the lining, and slowly, step by step, half turns to quarter turns, back the nut out until the wheel is freely spinning without any rubbing. Place in the outer bearing. You will notice that it sits a couple of mil outside of the wheel core. This is correct, as the locking cap takes up 2 to 3 mil of the bearing housing. Right, grab your racer washer and the special metal nylock that we use and tighten on. Now, tighten them until it just starts to squeeze onto the bearing and then back off a quarter turn. it's vital that there is no lateral or very little lateral movement in the wheel on the axle. Of course, repeat the other side. But now you're ready to do some bench testing with your hand. Just place the board on a flat bench and squeeze the pedal down with your palm of your hand. And you can, if you wiggle the board sideways, you can see which wheels are biting more than the other. They should be even on both sides. If they're not even, you'll need to readjust the distance between the brake cone and brake lining. You just have to take the wheel off and reset. If it's all working and you apply the brake and it releases fine, the next step will be to stand on a flat surface and try with your feet. So step onto the board. You need to use the brake to step on to hold it still. You will grab a bench or something to hold yourself steady. Just rock backwards and forwards and get the sense of how the brake grabs when you apply it. Also rock side to side to see if there's any friction while you do that. It would be only slight, but if there is any, you will have to readjust the spring nut like quarter turn out to give it a little more room. If it's all good and ready to go, before too long you'll be out skating the streets like Algie here and coming to a smooth stop whenever needed.